Hey everyone, my name is Daryl. I live in Texas, and this story is a little embarrassing, but since Oakview Law Group helped me out so much, I thought I'd take a few minutes to share with you my story and how they were able to help. I've always sort of worked in a line of work where overtime was almost required. I'd been working overtime for, 4 or 5 years before this happened. But basically towards the end of 2015, I transferred to a new company. And while they said overtime was going to be there, around Christmas time, it kind of went away and it never came back. So I was constantly finding myself in need of more cash. So I did the dumb thing and I started going with payday lenders. Under the assumption that at some point the overtime would come back. Well, a year and a half later, the overtime never came back. And one payday loan turned into 2, and then into 3, and into 4, into 5. And over the course of a year and a half, I actually racked up about 11 grand in debt. And there was no way I could keep making even the minimum payments on those payday loans and installment loans. So I was in a bind. So I started looking around at my options. I was trying to find a debt consolidation company online that could help me with this problem. And a lot of the sites that I found, they didn't seem credible. They didn't have really good reviews. But when I found Oakview Law Group, they were different. They had lots of good video testimonials. Hopefully mine will be up there someday. And their website seemed really well put together, and they seemed like they had their stuff together. So I decided to get all my financial paperwork together and give them a call. And the gentleman who assisted me on that initial call, he made it seem like it was no big deal. He took all my information and he said, "Don't worry, we'll be in touch. We've got this." So what they did was they asked me, of course, who do I owe money to? How much do I owe? And then they asked me, well, how much can you afford to pay each paycheck? So we worked that out with them, and I set up an automatic draft through them, and I paid them every paycheck. And over time, let's see, I started in June of 2017. That was my first contact with Oakview Law Group. And today is January 31st, 2019. That's about a year and a half, and I am completely debt-free. That $11,000 I had racked up is gone. So I'm pretty happy about that. They kept me informed throughout the process. They let me know when they contacted the creditors. They let me know if a creditor made an offer, and I could either choose to accept or deny the offer. And Oakview Law Group always gave me advice on whether or not I should take the offer, and I usually followed their advice because it was always good. And anytime I had a question, I could always contact my customer service representative. Mine was Sandra Gibson. I usually emailed her. I never called. I think I called a couple times. But she always got back to me promptly and quickly and answered my question. And everything was good. And yeah, there really were no hiccups along the way. They even, a hurricane came through Texas, and we were out of work for a couple of weeks, and Oakview Law Group was able to postpone my payment, during that period, which was really helpful. So just another good thing about them. They will work with you and your budget. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to say how much I saved, because I did save a bunch. Like I said, my total debt was 11 grand. Oakview Law Group was able to settle it for about $7,400, which is a savings of almost $3,000, which is awesome. I could have never done this on my I'm sorry. I could have never done this by myself. It was just too much to take care of. So I needed somebody that could do this for me, and they were able to do it. And of course, they deserve to be paid. So the fees I ended up paying was $2,400. So even with what I saved, that's still less than the $11,000 that I initially dug myself into. So I consider that to be a more than fair price. And you know, like I said, the whole experience was positive. Glad to be out of debt. I'm glad I found Oakview Law Group, and if you find yourself in a similar situation, I hope you give Oakview Law Group a chance, because they really came through for me, and I really appreciate it. So if you have any questions, you know, just pick up the phone and call, because they're there to help. That's what they do, and they're really good at it. So thanks for listening to my story, and if you're in a bind like I was, good luck. Give Oakview Law Group a call, and they'll take care of you. All right. Cheers.